So listen to this. José Mourinho isn't just another football manager, he's a legend. The Portuguese mastermind has won it all and then some. Currently managing Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League, Mourinho's legacy speaks for itself. League titles in 4 different countries? Check. Champions League glory with not 1, but 2 clubs? Absolutely. But what truly sets him apart? He's the only manager in football history to have won all 3 of UEFA's club competitions. The Champions League with Porto and Inter Milan, the Europa League with Manchester United, and the Conference League with Roma. After an uneventful career as a midfielder in the Portuguese leagues, Mourinho finished playing at age 24 and moved into coaching. He was first an interpreter for Bobby Robson at Sporting CP and FC Porto, before gaining success as an assistant at Barcelona under Robson, and then his successor, Louis van Gaal. With Chelsea in 2004, where he famously remarked, "I think I'm a special one," at his first press conference, which led to the British media dubbing him the Special One. With Chelsea, Mourinho won 2 Premier League titles, an FA Cup and 2 League Cups in 3 seasons, before he departed in 2007 amid reports of disagreements with owner Roman Abramovich. In 2008, Mourinho joined Italian club Inter Milan. He led them to the Serie A title in his first season before winning a continental treble of Serie A, the Coppa Italia and the UEFA Champions League in 2010, a first in history for an Italian club. This made him one of 5 coaches to have won the European Cup Champions League with 2 different clubs, and later that year saw him crowned the first FIFA World Coach of the Year. Mourinho then moved to Real Madrid in Spain, where he won the La Liga title in 2011-12, breaking numerous domestic records including for most points, goals and wins in a season, and becoming the 5th coach to win league titles in 4 different countries. Mourinho left Real Madrid in 2013 and rejoined Chelsea, where he won another league title and League Cup, but was dismissed in 2015 after a poor run of results. Remaining in England, he was appointed at Manchester United in 2016 and Tottenham Hotspur in 2019, but his spell at both clubs ended with dismissal. Despite this, Mourinho won the UEFA Europa League, League Cup and FA Community Shield with Manchester United and led Tottenham to the final of the League Cup, where he was fired less than a week before it. He was soon hired by Roma and in his first season won the first UEFA Europa Conference League, making him the first manager to win a major European competition with 4 different clubs and the 3rd manager to win the 3 main UEFA club competitions. Mourinho was named Portuguese Coach of the Century by the Portuguese Football Federation FPF in 2015. When we come to the other person of our today's story, Antonio Conte Cavaliere OMRI is an Italian professional football manager and former player who is currently the head coach of Serie A club Napoli. Playing as a midfielder, Conte began his career at local club Lecce and later became one of the most decorated and influential players in the history of Juventus, having won, among others, 5 Serie A titles, 1 Coppa Italia, 1 UEFA Champions League, and 1 UEFA Cup, also serving as the team's captain from 1996 until 2001. He also played for the Italy national team and was a participant at the 1994 FIFA World Cup and UEFA Euro 2000, where, on both occasions, Italy finished runners-up. His managerial career started in 2006, leading Bari to a Serie B title and Siena to promotion from the same division 2 years later. He took over at Juventus in 2011 and won 3 consecutive Serie A titles before taking charge of the Italy national team in 2014 until UEFA Euro 2016, where he led them to the quarter-finals. He then became Chelsea manager and led them to the Premier League title in his first season in charge, then winning the FA Cup in his second season, but being dismissed as they finished 5th in the league. Conte joined Inter Milan a year later, leading the team to the UEFA Europa League final in his first season, then winning the 2021-22 Serie A title in his second season before stepping down in mutual consent. He joined Tottenham Hotspur in November 2021, but left in March 2023 by mutual consent. He is currently coaching another Italian club, Napoli. José Mourinho versus Antonio Conte meeting as a manager came when Mourinho took his table-topping Inter Milan side to visit Conte's struggling Atalanta at the Bergamo. Mourinho's men took the lead through Diego Milito and later hit the post as they completely dominated their opponents. But Inter's Wesley Sneijder was later sent off, and Atalanta would score 9 minutes from time to rescue an unlikely point. Though their teams did battle on the field, both managers were serving touchline bans for the clash and therefore watched on from the stands. Mourinho's for sarcastically applauding a referee in the previous match. It took 7 years to see their second meeting after the first one. 1. The game that started the war of words for the two coaches was their second meeting in October 2016, when Chelsea hosted Manchester United and won 4-0 with goals from Pedro, Gary Cahill, Eden Hazard and N'Golo Kante. After the end of the game, José Mourinho condemned Antonio Conte, who was celebrating all 4 goals scored by his team. You can't celebrate like that when you're leading 4-0. You can do it at 1-0, otherwise it's a shame for us. This speech of José is a comment that started the war of words between the two people. 2. Although Victor Moses joined Chelsea from Wigan in 2012, he was loaned to various clubs, but he could not play at the Blues' home until Antonio Conte became the coach of the club. However, after the arrival of the Italian coach, Moses started to show his wonderful performance in the London club. Conte used Moses' performance he was showing at Chelsea at the time and gave a comment that made Mourinho angry. Moses has valuable abilities, technique, physicality, and the ability to cover 70 metres of the pitch. It is surprising that he is ignored. 3. In March 2017, Chelsea was able to beat United with a score of 1-0 in the FA Cup match. In this game, United's midfielder Ander Herrera was controversially sent off with a red card in the first half due to 2 yellow cards for his fouls on Eden Hazard. Thus, after the end of the game, José complained to the referee of the game, Michael Oliver. Conte, who was asked about Mourinho's complaint, responded by saying, "Hazard started the game, but he couldn't play. Anyone who saw this can judge." 4. Antonio Conte, who led the team to the Premier League title in his first season at Chelsea, said this at the start of his second season. 2 years ago, Chelsea finished 10th in the season after winning the title. This will never happen again. We will definitely try not to repeat that Mourinho season. The coaches of the last 2 seasons of the league, Chelsea and Leicester City, have both lost their jobs. We are working to find the right solution for this, said José, who won a cup with Chelsea a few years ago and was fired from the club the following year due to a lack of results. 5. Mourinho said this in October 2017 after his club Manchester United beat Benfica in the Champions League game, said, "I never talk about injuries. Other coaches cry when their players are injured, but I don't cry. To deal with this, you have to focus only on the players you have and left injured players. If I want to give reasons and cry like other coaches, I can cry for the next 5 minutes, but I won't." This was rumoured to be a comment aimed at Conte. Conte, who heard this, said, he thinks he has to look at himself and only think about the team. Mourinho often likes to focus on what is happening at Chelsea. He has to think about his own team. Other interesting conversations between the two coaches at different times. 6. I'm not going to be crazy on the touchline. Now that I'm mature, I prefer to do things in a way that's good for me and my team. This speech of José was aimed at Conte. In response to this speech, Conte used an Italian word to describe José as amnesiac. I think he has forgotten what he did before. Maybe he is talking about himself because he was in the past. If a person forgets what he did before, it is his character. 7. In 2012, Conte was accused by the Italian Football Federation of match fixing. José, who knows this, said, "Something that has never happened to me and will never happen to me is getting banned for cheating." Conte responded, "If you try to attack people without knowing the truth, You are a little man. He was a little man on many occasions before. He is still a little man, and he will certainly continue to be a little man in the future. I consider him a little man 8. Conte once called Mourinho a fake coach. I remembers Mourinho mocking Ranieri in his English, but wearing his t-shirt when he was fired from Leicester. He's a lying coach. Conte added, "When is our game against United?" He and I can meet alone in the room to talk about these talks. I'm ready, but I am not sure if he's ready to meet me. Made a call to José that seems like a fighting invitation. The last episode, when things cool down. José was the first person to end the war of words with this comment. It's funny to me when people pretend to be the victim when they're not the victim, but I don't enjoy it. That's enough for me. Sometimes it's my fault, sometimes it's the other coach's fault. José continued, "When I think I'm guilty in my case, I will be the first person to apologize, just like I did to Ranieri." That's why our relationship changed from bad to good, and from good to very good, because I was the person to apologize. In February 2018, when United beat Chelsea with a score of 2-1, both coaches exchanged greetings. José said after the game, "The handshake before and after the game is an example of how you have to respect each other through things in football." Conte said, "We cleared things with José. This is the most important thing. There is no problem between me and him. After the game in Manchester, I invited him to my office and we talked, and there is no problem." This made to end the war of words between the two coaches.